I got hands-on with a bunch of Tudor 2025 releases recently on a trip to Rodeo Jewelers here in downtown Vancouver and got to see some pretty neat watches. This year has been a major year for Tudor watch releases with several new models introduced, starting with this, the brand new Pelagos Ultra. A few months ago, I made a very wild and random prediction for this year's release on a video covering the Tudor 1200, saying that Tudor is about to re-release the watch at this year's Watches and Wonders. I reasoned that having a watch with 1200 meters of water resistance will reinvigorate the legitimacy and tool watch perception in the brand. And well, my prediction was somewhat close. Just let me have this one. This is Tudor's newest dive watch in titanium, measuring it at 43mm wide, 14.5mm thick, and 22mm lug width. The watch is waterproof to a staggering 1,000 meters, making it the most water-resistant watch in Tudor's current lineup and the second most in the brand's history. At a glance, it looks just like a standard Pelagos with a signature dial, hands, crown guard, and bezel, albeit slightly larger. However, the watch also features two color details not seen on any other Pelagos watches. That is, the Tiffany blue line indicating the model's name on the dial, and also a very thoughtful matching indicator on the T-fit clasp on the back. The watch is powered by the MT5612, which is the brand's favored Kinesi date automatic movement, shared by other Pelagos models and also the forgotten P01. Capable of 65 hours of power reserve, the watch so far scores perfectly on the functionality criteria, consistent to its heavy-duty appeal. Titanium screw-down crown, helium escape valve, unidirectional bezel, and a matte black dial. Pretty much everything I love about the Pelagos FXD in black is carried over here in an even sturdier package. I love this look so much. Definitely large for my 6.5-inch wrist, but at 14.5mm thick, it actually doesn't wear that tall on the wrist thanks to the bracelet and also the width of the watch. The watch also wears incredibly light due to its titanium composition. Priced at $74.70 Canadian, it's definitely not a cheap watch and is probably something only real divers would gravitate to rather than us desk divers. Still, I'm a huge fan of its existence and how it fits into Tudor's overall brand offering and storytelling. Just prior to me getting here, they had a Burgundy 58 in stock, which immediately sold. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to put a rain check on that one for this video. What we do have though is this newly upsized Black Base 68. This watch comes in two colors, a sunburst navy and silver. They've got the navy here today. This essentially is your Black Bay 41 but upsized to 43mm for folks with bigger wrists. Measuring in at 13.6mm thick and 22mm lug width, this watch features a Meta certified movement with 70 hours of power reserve. While I do like the deep blue sunburst dial, the size is too big for me, and the heft on this watch is much more apparent than the Pelagos Ultra. However, as the years go by, the more I'm appreciating the silver lume-filled indices of these dive watches. Contrasting with my gilt Black Bay 58 that I've now owned for 3 years, it's very refreshing to have a watch on wrist with the entire package looking brand new. I am still unsure where I stand on the whole Fotina argument, maybe a bit appreciative of both. I'm curious to know your thoughts on new watches that are manufactured to look worn. Do you like them, or would you prefer a brand new looking watch? The Black Bay 68 is introduced at a retail price of $58.90 Canadian. Tudor has gotten quite comfortable with their market position in recent years. I recall back in 2022, I had bought my Black Bay 58 for around $5,300 all in without any discounts at retail. The watch is now trading at around $3,200 to $3,600 on Chrono 24, so it's very surprising and kind of shocking to me that Tudor is still pushing prices despite the ever-increasing gap between new and used prices. I don't know about anyone else, but as a fan of Tudor, this growing disparity is pretty alarming to me. With the introductions this year, Tudor's professional dive watch line now spans a whole 6mm in width, from the Pelagos Ultra and the Black Bay 68 at 43mm down to the Black Bay 54 at 37mm. Which I still stand as too small of a watch for men. It might look nice now appealing to young professionals getting their first luxury watch, but 20 years into the future when the job title has grown and the metabolism starts to go down, I think most owners of the 54 will eventually opt for a bigger watch. Now, taking a look at the Black Bay Chrono Reverse Panda. This is the old iteration now replaced by the 5-link bracelet version of this year. With the new introductions, I think owners of the monochrome Black Bay Pandas can now request to purchase the more comfortable 5-link bracelets. What's really impressive is among the group here, one of our friends was wearing the Flamingo Black Bay Chrono, and Flamingo as in like pink flamingo, not the blue one. This is my first time ever getting hands-on with it out of the plastic coffin case. In hand, the pink dial has the same subtle bead-blasted texture as its peers, but executed in pink, making the watch quite a looker and definitely pops out from any crowd. As much as we all understand its popularity being a result of its scarcity, its allure still cannot be undermined. It's a pretty interesting experience. There's certain goods on the market today where we all know its scarcity to be artificial, be it watches, cars, or handbags. But at some point, for certain products, that desirability created by its scarcity becomes so unavoidable that people cease to remember what made it desirable in the first place, and we're only left with a product our brain recognizes as a one-of-a-kind beauty. I don't know. I'm sure many of us wouldn't splash out the money needed to buy a Black Bay Panda Chrono on a secondary market, or taking it to the more extreme, a Tiffany Patek. But we'd all try to get a closer look if we find ourselves in the same room as someone wearing one.
Faster.
The final watch of the day is the Black Bay Ceramic. This watch is the first Meta-certified watch introduced by the brand, and I still remember that Bark and Jack video when the watch first came out. The first Meta-certified! This is a huge step forward for Tudor! I remember thinking this watch would look so wicked on a driver of an Audi SQ8. In all black, of course. Getting hands-on with it now after years of its initial release, it's still so cool of a watch. Definitely won't be anyone's first watch or only watch unless you're just that cool, but certainly would be a fun piece in the collection. Let me know what you think of the watch today, as well as Tudor's releases for 2025 in general. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.